What's going on, guys? Today we are going to be making most of the to-do routes a private route. Okay, we're also going to be testing these routes because we are going to make some changes. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. So we're going to start things off by modifying our to-do model. Okay, right now we just have to-dos. We don't have the actual user that created the to-do, and that's what we're going to be adding right here. So we're going to be adding a new property, and I'm gonna call mine _creator. I'm trying to keep it simple, because the creator is gonna be an ID, and just like Mongo has an _ID for object IDs, we're going to have a _creator, so that way whoever is using this knows that it's going to be an object ID as well. So it is going to be required. So set that to true. And we're also going to need a type. Okay. The type is an object ID, but you can't really specify it by saying object ID from here. No, you can't do that. It's actually from a mongoose. It's a mongoose thing, so we're gonna have to actually call mongoose dot schema, because it lives in the schema dot types, and schema has the types method, schema dot types, and from here we're gonna grab the object ID with the capital O, and there we have it. That is it. Mongoose. Okay, I'm just saying that I'm spelling it right. Now we're gonna actually go inside our seed data. So our test seed, our seed data, and in our to-dos data, we're gonna actually add a _creator right here, and we're gonna set the first one to the first user 1 ID. Okay, and we're gonna set the first one. Paste. What did I do? Oh boy. Okay, copy that. We're gonna paste it right here. So user 1 ID created this first to do, and the second one is going to be user 2. User 2. Toe 2. All right. Now we're actually going to go inside our server and start making routes private. And the first one we're going to make private is the /to-dos. Okay, so how do you make it private? Well, we do have the authenticate method of doing it. So we're going to actually just do that. Authenticate. This is how we make it private. So they have to be authenticated first to actually create a to-do, or to actually get to-do. Sorry about that. And up here, we're also going to do it for here as well. We're gonna mess with this around with this in a bit. We're gonna copy this, put it right here. Now they need to be authenticated to actually create a to-do, and we're gonna create right here. We actually want to do a new var to do. We actually have to create add in the creator, whoever created this to do. We're gonna add their ID in here. Now remember, authenticate does, if you go back in here, authenticate, when you authenticate it, it does return the rec object user as our user. So we're going to get the ID from that. So _creator is going to equal rec.user.id, _ID, I mean. Just like that. Now we created a user. That's it. This is when they actually post a to-do. You're going to get the text and the ID of the creator. Now for down here, when we grab the to-do, we also want to authenticate, but we're going to want to find the to-dos of the person that called this route. So we're going to actually find it by the creator's ID. Okay. So _creator is going to equal to rec user dot _ID, just like so. And that is it for now. We're gonna actually test this. So we're gonna do nodemon server.js. All right, let's go to Postman. And actually, let's go to as well to RoboMongo and delete our connect. We're gonna delete our this one, the to do drop database. Yes. So we do need to make a new user, right? Let's get a new user. So we're gonna post users right here. Body. I'm gonna delete most of these since I don't need them. All right, so we're gonna make a new user first because when we create a to-do, we need to be authenticated and we need the token. So let's create a user. Let's grab this token right here, copy, and let's actually go to to-dos and create a to-do. So post/to-dos because that's the route to actually create a to-do. And in headers, you do need to add in the X auth and the token we just got from our created user. In the body, coming from Postman server, thought yes, like this. It's not gonna be. I'm just saying coming from Postman auth. Type in auth right here, just to make sure. When we send that off, we do get our object back by completed at. ID, the ID of the to-do, they're two different things. The ID and the creator are two different things. Remember, the creator is the actual user, which is me, and the ID is the ID for this to-do, specific to-do. We get the text coming from Postman, which is awesome. Now, if I actually delete some of this stuff and send it off, we should get a 401, yes, unauthorized, which is great. Now, let me create another to-do, or let me create another user. I'm going to just add a G@YML this time. Send it off. Grab this token. Copy that. Paste it right here. And in the body, I'm going to say coming from Postman auth hyphen second user. Just like so. Send that off. And we do get it again. But this time, we're going to actually go and get a get to-dos. Okay. And that's the second one we got right here. We actually, when we get the to-dos, we're going to get it from the specific user ID. So, back in Postman. So, we're going to create a new one right here. We're going to go to localhost 3000 to-dos, but the get method. And we do need to add a header to this. So, under headers, X auth. And this is going to be the token of the second user. So once we send this, we should get our to-dos of the second user. Yes, we do. And we do not have the other to-do. So there are two to-dos in the database. So let me show you real quick. Refresh. To-do. Collections. To-dos. There's two of them. You see that right here? But we only get one back over here in Postman because we're being authenticated as a second user, which is the second post that we made, which is awesome. That's working. So we're gonna actually have to go to the test.server.js, this one, because now some things are failing, and I can show you that real quick. Let me get out of this. I'm actually do npm test. You're gonna see most of them are gonna come back as 401 not authorized. Yes, 401 unauthorized, unauthorized. And those are all from, isn't this great? It tells you this is all from post/to-do. So if you go all the way post/to-do, it does our three and our get to-do. So these three, and this one should get all to-dos. Should get all to-dos right here, the first one. So these three up here are the ones we're going to be messing around with because they're giving us errors. Okay, so going up to the top to the very first one, we're going to actually need to set an X auth token for well, we need to set it because that's what we need when we authenticate. So we're gonna set the XAuth. No, Control Z, just like that, and get rid of this one. And we're gonna set it to users. It doesn't matter which one you choose. I'm gonna just use the second one. Dot tokens. And the first element on the tokens, dot token. Now you should remember that, where is it at? The seed right here. Our users, our first user has tokens and our second user doesn't. Now you can put this, we could do it right now actually. I'm just grab this and put it in here like this. So that way our second user also has tokens. Get rid of that. I'm still in here. CJS. Okay. Now, we don't have to change anything else down here because once we do get this back, we're going to expect something from the body. Yes, we are going to expect the text to be the text that we got up here. And if there's an error, we're still going to expect to-dos.length to be 1. And we're going to expect the to-dos of the first element .text to be the text we set up here. Nothing has changed. The only thing we changed is we're just setting the XAuth. Okay, going on to the second one. Our second one is going to be exactly the same thing. So I'm gonna just copy this right here. Copy this. We're gonna actually set it right here. And everything else is exactly the same. So we do expect a 400 when they do send an empty object or data. We do expect a 400, and we do expect the length to be 2 since we are seeding the database with 2 of them. In this case, if it did send like this one, if it did create one, it would be returning 3, but we're going to be expecting 2. Now, going on to the next. In our git/todos, it's going to be a bit different. I am going to get the same thing as up here. I'm going to get this because we do need to set our XAuth. So down below this, we're going to set our XAuth. But down here, we don't expect the /todos to be 2 anymore because we're actually expecting it to be from this one user. And since this one user only created one to-do, which is up here, the seed. Remember, both of these are created, these to-dos, but one is from user 1 ID and the other one's from user 2. So in our server test, we only expect it to be 1 coming back from the database, or from the from the database. We only expect 1 to come back, or from the body. Sorry, from the body. We only expect 1. So with that in place, Control Save. We are going to test it again. Let's see if we actually, did it. And it looks like we actually did. Oh wait, we actually got 2 failing. Users log in, should log in user and return auth token. Expected the object. Oh. We'll get into this in a bit later. This doesn't really. Well, let me try to fix it right now. Hold on. I'll get back on to you. I found the error. Just get rid of this tokens for now. We're not going to be using it for the second user, but we are going to be adding it later on. I just didn't want to deal with the problem right now. We are going to be doing it later on. I just forgot about it when I did do this the first time. So just get rid of it for the second one and we should be good to go. So now moving on to the next set of authentication, which is these. Actually, if you go back to server.js, this is where c.js, this is where we're going to actually need our tokens. And I think I did make one mistake right here. Yes, the user ID should be 2. Right here. Control Save. I think this was a problem, first of all. I didn't want to deal with it, so that's why I just got rid of it. But if I just change it to user 2 ID, I think everything should be working. No, it doesn't work. But we are going to deal with it because we do actually need these tokens. So let's just go back and start messing around over here in our server.js. Actually, I'm sorry guys. I keep on going back and forth. This is bothering me. So we're gonna actually go back in here and actually fix it right now. So for the first error, I see what it is. It's right here. Okay. It's actually going to be the second. It's actually going to be the second element in the array, which is going to be the 1. And this is also a 1. Control save, and we're going to test it out right now. Now going down here, while that's testing, we should be able, yeah, it was the second element in the array. And down here, we actually expect it to be 1. If it was creating a token, it would be 2, okay? But we're expecting it to be 1 now. So control save that. Now let's test it again. And there we have it. Now we could actually move on, so that won't bother me anymore, and do our authentication over here. First stop is our up here get to-dos ID. We're gonna add our authenticate middleware right there. And we're no longer going to be finding by an ID. We're going to be actually finding by the ID and the creator. So we're going to just take this off, find by ID, and we're going to be find one. Change that to find one, and we're going to add a actual object query. Okay. So we're going to add the underscore ID will be the ID that they provided up here. And we're also going to be finding it by the underscore creator, whoever created it. We want to get that as well. And that's from rec.user._ID. So control save that. We are going to need to change our test units. So scroll up above and find that describe block that says get /todos/ID, which is right here. All right, so we do need to set the XAuth token. So copy that, put it right here, and I'm gonna actually explain it. Since we're trying to grab the to-do of the first to-do, we know that the first to-do is actually owned by the user 1. So this is correct. We're gonna grab the user's 1 token and actually set it right here, and that is it. We're still gonna respect the body, and that body to be the to-dos the to-dos 0 element, which is a 1.text. Now, down below, we do need to set our XAuth, but that's the only thing we need to make. The reason why is because this should return a 404 if to-do is not found, which we're creating a new object right here. It's not going to be found. This object ID is not going to be found in the database, so it's still going to return a 404. Same thing down here. This 123 ABC is not going to be found in the database. It's not even a legit object ID, so it is going to return a 400 because that doesn't exist. So that is it. But I do want to create one more test unit for this specific describe block. So I'm going to just copy this. And that is, I don't want it to return an ID, or I don't want it returning a to-do that is not belonged to the creator. You know what I'm talking about? So let me explain it real quick. Should not return to-do doc created by other user. So this shouldn't return, if I'm user 1, it shouldn't return, it shouldn't give me users 2 to-dos. So right here I'm gonna grab users 2 to-dos, but I'm gonna be logged in as user 1. It should return a 404 because that's not authorized, or that's actually an error prone, and we're not expecting nothing right here. We're gonna end it right here. We're gonna get rid of this, and this is it. That's basically it. So let's rerun our test to see that everything's working. Hopefully everything is, and everything is working. I hope I explained what I'm doing right here. We don't want to get a to-do from other people that's created it. We only want to get our to-dos, which is this test case. And this test case is checking that we don't get anybody else's, which is good. We are passing it. So moving on to the next one. And that is the delete one. So authenticate. It's basically 3 simple steps. We're going to authenticate we're gonna switch this find by ID, and we're gonna find one right here. Just change this to 1 and remove, and we're gonna add a object query. Same thing, underscore ID. I'm gonna go to the ID and underscore creator. It's gonna be rec.user._ID. Control save that. So step 1, adding the authenticate. Step 2, our media query. And step 3, our media query, our object query. And step 3 is actually going inside server.test.js and actually modifying our test units. So in our delete to-dos, we're going to be right here, should remove a to-do. Okay, since we are grabbing our first to-do or the second actual to-do, we do know that this is owned by the second user. So we're going to actually grab the xauth right here. And we're going to be setting it, but we're going to be grabbing the second user's xauth token. So that way this matches up and everything else should be working. We're still going to expect everything from in here. So I am going to be creating another test unit. I'm going to copy this right here. Copy, and that is, it shouldn't remove a to-do that doesn't belong to the user itself. Okay, so should not remove a to-do if from different user. Control save, and it's going to be the same thing. We do need to switch this up to a 0. We're going to grab the first to-dos, which is owned by user 1, and over here we're saying we're going to be user 2, so it should not delete the actual to-do. So down here, instead of saying to be null, we don't want that. It should still exist. The to-do should still exist, so it should not be null. Okay. And that is it. We don't want it to delete. This is the only thing we're going to be changing from here. Now down here, all we need to do is actually set the xauth. It doesn't matter whose token we get it from. We do need to set one though, because we're still going to be expecting a 404 and a 400 because of the object ID not being found in the database. So if we actually save this and run it, npm test run, we should have all of them. Oh, we get one. So 200 got a 404. Let me see. Should not remove a to do from different user, which is this one right here. Yeah, it's a 404. Look at this. I didn't even change the expect. It is a 404 because if you look at server.js in our delete right here, it will never find a doc. So if there's no to do, which there's not going to be a to do, it's going to return a status of 404. So yes, that is correct. And if we run it one more time, we should get all passing. What? I still get a failing one. Should not remove, cannot read property of underscore ID of undefined. Let me see where. To do's 0. Let me go to seed. I do have an object ID there. Oh, I get it. Right here. We don't want this because we're not going to expect nothing from the body because there's not going to be a body since there's no to do. Control save that. Sorry guys. It should be working now. Yep. That was a problem. Alright. Moving on to the next one, server.js, down below. And that is the patch. So, authenticate, first step, remember, is authenticate. Second step is actually the query. Find one and update. And our object ID, I'm actually putting in one line, so underscore ID is going to equal to the ID itself. Remember, up here. And underscore creator is going to equal to rec.user dot underscore ID. That is it. And step 3 is actually over here, fixing our patched /to-dos. So the only thing we have to do for the first test unit is actually, I'm going to grab this set xauth token up here, down below, since we are grabbing the first one. So we're going to change this user to the being first user, and everything else should be good to go. I am going to create another test unit though, and this one should not update the to-do if created by other user. Okay, all we have to do here is grab the first or second user, because the second user is going to try to update the first user's to-do, which is not, he's not able to, and we're going to expect a 404, and there's not going to be nothing from the body, so delete all this, and that is it. Now we can move on to the next one. I'm actually going to copy this set, because the only thing we need to do down here is set the user, and since we're trying to update the first user's to do, we need to change this to be the first user, and that is it. So save that. Let's npm test this, and bada bing bada boom, we have it all. All right, so that is it for this video, guys. We just modified making all our to-dos private. Yeah, all of our to-dos are private now. And we actually modified our server.test.js so that way our test units could actually compare to what we modified over in server.js. That's all we did today. Nothing too special, nothing. But this does give you an idea of how to authenticate more often now. So thank you for watching this video, guys. In the next video, we're going to actually be looking at creating local and custom environment variables, because remember in our, I think it's seed data. Yeah. In our seed data, we do create this secret. We don't want this secret here anymore, since we are going to be deploying it to Heroku. We don't want the secret out in the open. We actually want to store it in a local environment or a custom environment variable. Okay. So we're going to be looking at that in the next video. And we're also going to probably, more than likely, I'm pretty sure we are going to be deploying this to Heroku. So stay tuned for that, guys. Please leave a like or a dislike. Please leave a comment down below what you thought about the video. And I know the code is small, and I forgot to actually beef up the code or zoom inside the code. Control Z. I could have done it this way, but I forgot to do that, guys. I'm so sorry. I will do that in the next video. But thank you so much for the feedback, guys, and I will see you in the next video.